Hey everybody, I'm Michael McClintock and this is lesson 4 for beginning guitarists. Today I'd like to introduce 6 new guitar chords, so let's jump in. The first chord is an E chord, and we have our low E open. We've got our second finger on the second fret on the A string, third finger on the second fret D string, first finger, first fret on the G, an open B, and an open high E. And notice I'm using a guitar pick. I introduced this in lesson 3, and so in the beginning 2 lessons we used our thumb to push down through the strings, but now I would like to start using a guitar pick and use the exact same technique as we discussed earlier. So just place your pick on the low E, press down and through the string while resting on the next string. So down and through on the low E and rest on the A. Down and through, rest on the D, down and through, rest on the G, down and through, rest on the B, down and through, rest on the high E, and then finally resting on nothing whenever we play the high E. Our next chord is going to be E7. It's very, very similar to E. If you already have your E chord, all you have to do is remove your third finger. So let's take a look. We've got an open E, fret 2 on the A with the second finger, an open D, fret 1 on the G with the first finger, an open B, and an open high E. So those 2 chords are very similar. Once you get E, to make E7, all you do is release your third finger. Next we have the A chord. I'm going to hit the A string open, and I've got my first finger on fret 2 on the D, my second finger on fret 2 on the G, and my third finger on fret 2 on the B, and the high E is open. Now this chord can be a little tricky because we've got to squeeze all 3 of our fingers into the same fret. But to achieve this, sometimes I'll tilt my left hand out towards the left. So you can see that my palm of my hand beneath my pinky finger is coming away from the guitar and towards my left. And this can kind of help get this chord a little better. So be patient with this one. It's a little difficult to get everybody in the same fret, but a little bit of practice and you'll get it. Next we have an A7. So I've got an open A string, fret 2 on the D with my first finger, an open G, fret 2 on the B string with my second finger, and an open high E. So again, with the pick pushing down and through, trying not to hit the low E, we've got A string, fret 2 on the D, open G, fret 2 on the B, and an open high E. And now for A minor. Again, we've got an open A, I've got fret 2 on the D string with my second finger, fret 2 on the G string with my third finger, fret 1 on the B string with my first finger, and an open high E. Now this chord is almost identical to our E chord, which we learned earlier in this lesson. I like to kind of kill 2 birds with 1 stone with these 2 chords. So one thing we can practice is our E chord, and then release all 3 fingers at the same time, and then they just go down string-wise. So I've got the A, D, and G strings being played for the E chord, and then I simply remove the fingers and move to the D, G, and B strings. So like I said, you get a little bonus with those 2. They're the exact same shape, just on different strings. last but not least for today, I want to introduce the D7 chord and a little bit of left hand technique. So far, we haven't been really worried about doing any muting, but I would like to do some muting today. And what that means is I'm going to take the thumb of the left hand and I'm going to gently reach over and I'm just going to delicately touch the low E string to where it gets kind of a dead sound, kind of like a thumpy, deadened sound, because we really don't want the low E tone in our chord, in the D7 chord. So the chord is going to be an open A, an open D, fret 2 on the G with the second finger, fret 1 on the B with the first finger, and fret 2 on the high E with the third finger. But I'm just going to come over with the thumb and I'm going to go ahead and dampen or mute the low E. And this is going to come in handy whenever we're doing strumming, because when you're doing strumming, it's just too complicated to try to be so accurate. So it's easier just to dampen a string with the thumb and go to town with the right hand. So already by lesson 4, we've come quite a long ways. You've got a strumming pattern, you've got essentially a million songs under your fingers with the chord pattern we talked about, and now we've introduced 6 new chords. So we've got E, E7, A, A7, A minor, and D7. So for this week, I just want to memorize these chords and keep practicing everything we've talked about this far. Don't forget about E minor, don't forget about G, D, or C, because those are all important. Keep working on your strumming, keep working on that hand being relaxed, and just keep working on getting good sounds. Make sure all your strings are ringing out and everything sounds good, because we're going to continue moving forward, adding in more chords and more strumming patterns next week. So stay well, stay healthy, and I'll see you all very soon.